Hey guys, welcome to my channel and welcome to today's video where I'm going to be doing swatches and first impressions of the Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey palette. Now this palette retails for a whopping $78, so I'm gonna let you know if I think it is worth that kind of coin. So let's just go ahead and get into it. So this is Pat McGrath's holiday release for 2021. And here you have the outside packaging, very beautiful. The palette inside looks exactly like the outer carton, except this one has the shade names on the back. It feels very weighted, very bougie. I mean, for this kind of price, it should. So first off, this palette has a very large mirror inside. I have not removed the plastic covering. And here you have an 18 shade palette. I have been wanting to try out the brand for a while, and I hear that this is obviously the best way to do it in terms of value. Her 10 shade palettes retail for $125, which is steep to say the least, and here you get 18 shades for $78. Now in this palette you're not getting any of her special shades, the very shiny sparkly top coat duochrome kind of shades that are in her other palettes, but it is a great way to try out the brand and the formula and see if maybe you do love it enough to spring for the more expensive palettes. I don't think I could ever spend $125 on 10 shades. That's just not for me, but I am very happy that I do get to try out the brand and the formula and see if it's really worth all the hype that it gets. So you do only get 4 matte shadows in here. The rest are all shimmers, which is 1000% not a problem for me. I love shimmer shadows. My heart beats for sparkles, so I don't mind that there's only 4 mattes. I do kind of wish that they had more variety in color, because you do get this light pink one up here, this deeper kind of mauve tone in the corner, this light brown, and this deeper brown down here. So basically your matte options are pink or brown, which I don't mind. I'm a huge fan of neutral matte in the crease, colorful shimmer on the lid, so this is perfect for me. But do keep that in mind if you're looking for tons of variety of colorful mattes. You're not gonna get that here. But I kind of don't think that's the point of this kind of palette. I think you definitely buy something like this for shimmer options, and honestly, you probably have a million other palettes you can reach into for a different color matte. I definitely don't have a problem using multiple palettes for one look. So this is perfect for me, but do keep that in mind if you are more of a matte lover. This is probably not the palette for you. So the palette does have these strings on the side, so it will stand up on its own if you did want to place this down on a surface and use a mirror to do your makeup, so that's a nice touch. So I am going to go ahead and swatch each shade on the back of my hands. I think I'm going to start with the mattes just to get those out of the way, and then I will do all the shimmers. So first impression of the mattes, it feels very soft, very smooth. I may have picked up a little too much, but this is my first time ever touching a Pat McGrath matte shadow. I've only swatched one of the shimmers because I couldn't help myself, I'm weak. So here is the first pink matte shade. And it feels very smooth, very pigmented. I can tell right away that this color is gonna pack a punch. I'm already impressed with the matte. So here we have the darker of the pink mattes. So there are the 2 pink mattes. Seeing them next to each other, I do kind of wish that they were a little bit different. Like, one of them should have been either lighter or darker, because on the eyes, you're not going to get a whole lot of variation within these 2 colors. So here we have the lighter brown matte. I'm not flipping you off, I promise. And here we have the deeper brown matte. Wow. Okay. That is one swipe pigment on that swatch. So I will say right away that these do appear to swatch a bit deeper than they look in the pan. It does look like they sheer out pretty well. So that might actually be a good thing. That way you can use them with a light hand or sheer them out if you have a fairer skin tone to give you a nice transition. Or you can use them to their full pigment and use them as transitions if you have deeper skin tone. So not mad at these 4 mattes. We'll see how they perform on the eyes. They don't come off very easily either, so I mean, that's a good thing. That means they have good lasting power. Let me get some use out of these BoxyCharm makeup wipes I said I'd never use. So now I'm going to get into the fun parts, the shimmer shades, and my hand is completely dry, so that won't affect my swatches. So here, wow. Okay. All right. Wow. Okay. That's beautiful. Do you see the shine on that eyeshadow? This is gonna make me buy one of her big palettes. This video is gonna convert me. My goodness. Okay, moving on to the second shimmer in the palette. So there's the gold. Wow. Okay, I'm impressed already. Next, we have this amazing black shade with tons of glitter in it. Wow. That is so pretty. For like an all over black smoky eye. Okay. It's definitely not as metallic as these two. I think Teresa is Dead actually described this one as a matte with glitter in it. Kind of, but it's so packed full of glitter. I wouldn't call it a matte with glitter. I don't know. It's definitely not as metallic as these two, but it is packed full of sparkle. Wow. I'm gonna say wow a lot in this video, so let me just apologize right now. I don't even know how to describe that shade. It's definitely a duochrome. It's kind of pink, kind of copper, but it has a green shift to it. Let me use the old mirror trick, see if I can show you that it is copper, but it has a very strong green gold shift to it. I mean, I would consider that a special shade. I'm only 1 row into these swatches and I'm already more confused about what look I'm gonna do than I was before this video started. So this is the next one, and right away I do feel like this one has a different consistency than the first few shimmers. It definitely feels a little drier than the first few, but still blinding. Here is the next shimmer. And this one is back to that smoother formula. This one kind of has a shift as well. It is pink, but it has a bit of a coppery kind of shift to it. So here is the next. Wow. Please don't take a shot every time I say the word wow. So here we have like a very pale lavender, almost with a silver hint to it. Very pretty, also blindingly metallic. And you can definitely see the difference in the formulas just looking at the pans. Some definitely look a little chunkier. Oh my goodness. That is another duochrome there at the bottom. It is pink with a very strong gold shift. I happen to love a pink with a gold shift. see if I can capture the shifts on those. I think you can see the last one pretty well. So here we have one of those not as sparkly, more of a smooth metallic shades. That was a horrible swatch, I'm sorry. So that is just a very smooth metallic formula. There is no chunky sparkle in this one at all. This one appears to be another one with that same formula. And that one is also a duochrome. This one is more of a peach with a gold shift. Wow. This is another one of the stunners in the palette. And this is a beautiful, almost teal blue, but not quite. Still a bit of a true blue. Ugh, I'm a sucker for a copper colored shimmer shade. Look at that color. Again, this is also the same formula as these three. Very smooth metallic, no kind of chunky glitter to these at all. I always prefer to do live swatches. A, I would rather show you my genuine first impression. And B, I like showing the actual swatching process so you know if I have to blend it in, if it's a little chunky, if I had to build it up a little. But I can always insert separate swatches. I haven't been doing that lately because it's so cloudy and gloomy. Like, I really can't show you natural sunlight swatches, but I can do separate swatches and insert them if that's what you guys prefer. So I got two more shades left here. This one, it feels like it is back to that sparkly, chunkier formula. So this is kind of like a taupey, kind of a silver gold shade, if that makes any sense. It is the thicker formula, but this one does not have any chunky sparkle in it. It definitely looks a little sparklier in the pan though. And last but not least, we do have the bright green shade in the palette. That was the only one that I have swatched because you can't look at this palette and just not be automatically drawn to this color. So I did have to build that one up a little bit. It is a lighter shade though, and it is just absolutely beautiful. And this shade is packed with tons of gold glitter. So I am gonna go ahead and zoom you in and do a look trying these out. I still have absolutely no idea which one of these shimmers I'm gonna pick, but I'm just gonna wing it, start going, and see what happens. So because I haven't picked out which shimmers I'm going to use yet, I am gonna go ahead and go in with the two brown mattes as my crease shades. So definitely impressed with the quality on the mattes, and definitely still don't know what shimmers I'm putting on my lids. Like, I kind of want to go green, blue, black. Like, is that too much? As much as my like peachy pink comfort zone is calling me, I think I'm going to do something a little bit different. So let's see what happens. So I'm gonna go ahead and throw on some liner and then come back to try out the Rare Beauty mascara. I also picked this one up and I thought I would try it out in this video. So I did my liner and I just went ahead and curled my lashes so that I could try this mascara out. This is probably the worst look to try a mascara out with because it is so dark and smoky. You're probably not gonna see my lashes too much. So here's the wand on the mascara. And I've heard really great things about it, so I picked up a little mini size just to try it out. Okay. I'm impressed already. I don't know how much you can actually see, but this is one pretty heavy coat of the mascara. I'm gonna go ahead and do this eye and probably do maybe one more coat, and then I will come back to wrap up my thoughts on the palette. Alright, I am back with the finished look. Real quick, this mascara is fire. My eyelashes look so long. It is a little spidery, but I could see layering this with maybe a more wispy natural mascara and getting beautiful effect out of that. But anyways, on to why we're actually here. So I ended up using the purple metallic in my inner corner, the light green on the inner third of my lid, overlapping onto this blue, and then this sparkly black shade on my outer corner. This palette did not disappoint. These shimmers are so pretty. This green layered over the blue gives such a beautiful effect. This is definitely not my everyday look. It's a lot smokier and darker than I would usually go, but I'm living for this moment. I will say the green shimmer is probably the softest of the shimmers that I swatched. It does require a little bit more building up, but it also is a very light shade. I did get a bit of fallout, but again, I put my eyeshadows on with my fingers, so you are gonna get some fallout. You can always either do your eyes first or use a wet brush, or always just powder under your eyes a little bit to make the fallout easier to dust away. But I did manage to brush it away. It didn't look like I have a black eye or anything, so I'm impressed. I am thoroughly impressed by this palette. Do I think it is worth $78? Yes. I could see myself picking up another Pat McGrath holiday release. Now, I got this with a gift card, so I didn't actually pay for it, but would I consider paying $78 for this palette of my own money? Yeah, I would. I do think this is a great way to try out the brand, try out a bunch of her different shadows and formulas without dropping $125 on 10 shadows. So with that being said, God, I hate that phrase. My boss always uses it before she forces me overtime. She tells me something completely irrelevant to the situation and then goes, with that being said, I'm forcing you 2 hours overtime tonight. But anyways, do I think this palette is worth the money? Yes, I was thoroughly impressed by every shadow that I used. I was blown away by all the swatches. I cannot wait to reach for this palette again. And that is kind of the gauge for if a palette is really worth it. I don't have a huge eyeshadow collection, but I do have enough that a palette needs to have something special for me to want to reach into it multiple times. I can't wait to reach into this palette again. So I am so happy I have this palette. Definitely will be doing more looks with this. And if you are considering picking this up, if you are thinking, is this even worth it? If you can spend $78 on it, I'm gonna say it's worth it. I'm so happy I have this. Okay, I'll admit it. They're nice. I kind of get it. I still don't get paying $125 for the mothership palettes, but I'll give it to you on this one. This is very nice. This is definitely high quality. The packaging is high quality. It's heavy, it's pretty, it's beautiful, it's a showstopper. You win. You win. I'm kind of eating my words. So far, I love this palette, and I definitely love the look I got out of it today, and hopefully you loved this video. If you did, I hope that you would consider liking, subscribing, and coming back for some more content. Bye. Ow, bitch, I closed my hair in the palette.